Yo, what's good, Adam? What is good, Chris? I feel like we haven't done this market discussion together in
It's
it's been like
gotta
2
be
months. It's been like 2 months.
like 2 months. Just a general market discussion. It's got to be 2 months, man. And
We
it's
are just
perfect timing.
jam packed with guests, dude.
World War III on the brink. This is the best.
Did you catch that VP debate yesterday?
I didn't watch it. Chris, give us the update, man. What's your big takeaway, dude?
It was good, man. I mean, it's sad that American politics has just come down to like a reality TV show, but it seems like that's what we got. So we got Tim Waltz being Tim Waltz. We had some pretty solid JD Vance lines, but I mean, in general, I think Tim Waltz kind of surprised me. I thought he was like a little bit dupier, but he actually had some pretty good talking points. JD Vance probably won it, but
yeah,
it's hard to beat like a Yale educated debater. So kind of pretty well balanced, but I thought JD really put on a show.
Yeah, according to Polymarket, JD Vance won. JD Vance was the winner. And speaking of prediction markets, did you see today? I need to find this on my timeline. But prediction markets for presidential elections are now legal in the U.S. There was like a Supreme Court ruling,
right? Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see that this morning? That's a big win, dude. I remember when I got in the space in 2016 and Augur was around, and that was like, you'd like go on to Augur and it was like this kind of black market vibes because everyone thought it was illegal and it was all shady. And I think that was ultimately why it shut down, didn't it, Chris? I think we talked about this before.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny thinking back to how simple of a product Polymarket is. When the pitch for Augur and prediction markets back then, it really was like this huge, seemed like this technical undertaking, which it turned out to totally not be, right? So I don't know if that was marketing or kind of narrative from the team of Augur back then. But look how simple Polymarket is. Like that's not a difficult technical challenge, but obviously the social challenge and kind of getting it to mainstream is the difficult part, but definitely it's not a technical challenge. So the dream that we were sold with Augur, I think, was a little bit overpriced back then.
It's interesting. I don't know if you guys saw, I think it was yesterday or the day before, Pete Rose died. And I saw some comments about it. Obviously, legendary baseball player, but beyond that, obviously got banned from baseball because of gambling. And I had people on my timeline like, Pete Rose was a visionary. Because the reality was like he was early to this idea of like, no, who wants to really watch sports? Like sports are so much better when you're gambling on them, right? And it's like, bro, that's come like he was right as rain. Like just to think about how gambling was so shit on back then. You guys are too young, you don't really realize, but back then it was like
we live in Vegas.
I mean, you're right. So it's normal for you guys, but
yeah,
dude, like
but we were always like outcast to society because it was so kind of
so like shady, dude.
Taboo. I guess
so shady. You were basically a drug dealer if you were, a sports bookmaker or you took gambling bets or whatever. It was all shady in the same way that buying weed was shady back in the 70s and 80s. Like, dude, it was shady. And, and it's come fully, now it's on everybody's phone, and so, we talk about it often as crypto's like first use case is gambling. And, I think Pete Rose kind of highlighted that for me this week, like just how crazy our culture has completely shifted where gambling is just a part of everyday life now. And, it's interesting to see.
We got hyper gamblification, hyper tokenization.
We're definitely going to the financialization of everything. We're speed running that route.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. You see in the crypto space, once a new trend catches on, then everyone tries to make a derivative of it or their own version. I don't know if you saw recently that Rug Radio came out with their own prediction market. Have you seen this?
I didn't see that. No, I saw they made an acquisition of a company, but I didn't see that. And I saw Farouk was interviewing
Mark Cuban today.
Mark Cuban on the timeline too. I was like, wow, Farouk's really making moves, man. I wonder if my Rug Radio token is going to have any value again.
Dude, mine are down so bad. Still holding them. I don't know if there's any use case for these, but they are down horrendous. So it's called Myriad Market. So I was looking into it the other day. It's like a prediction market that says break the news, stake the news, and make the news. I don't know exactly what that means. It said a prediction market that empowers your insight and turns foresight into value. Ready to stake your reputation. So maybe it's some sort of like reputation prediction market. I don't really know for sure. It's still in kind of its beta stage here. But you see this now on every chain. You have predict.fun is on Blast, and it's like a yield bearing prediction market. I don't even know what that means, but everyone's trying to make their own version of it. Of course, there's a handful on Bitcoin, right? We had the Bet BTC guys on that are doing like this cross chain Bitcoin one with ICP. And then, of course, Counterparty tried to do it in they were like maybe one of the first to scenes of trying to do it. Adam, what's your take on prediction markets? Do you think we need one on every chain?
I think prediction markets and gambling, are this perfect use case. I think it's going to happen generally on this quicker, faster, cheaper chains. Makes sense. Polygon's taken off with Polymarket. So I don't think the chain even matters. People don't care. They just want the seamless, fast user experience. So obviously Solana seems like it could have some traction there too. You just see it. And like living in Costa Rica, I personally have known guys who were sports books in the traditional sense. Like they would literally take a phone call, take a bet, old school. Like these guys all moved to Costa Rica, back in the 90s because it was like a safe place. You could do it here legally. But talking to those guys, it was always between like 5 to 10% of the total bets they would make. That would be like the amount they would earn. And crypto should be able to shrink that to basically near zero, right? You get to almost a near zero, profit environment, and just seamless betting globally. It's like the perfect use case for crypto. It's perfect. The only question is how much U.S. regulations are going to come and bite into these guys. Because trust me, you will not be able to open a sports book in crypto and not have U.S. regulators on your ass. And those guys who I know in Costa Rica, half of them got arrested in the U.S. when they traveled to the U.S. Like they couldn't travel. There was this joke. This guy made like $40 million here in Costa Rica and literally could not leave Costa Rica because if he landed in a friendly jurisdiction, he was going to get picked up by the U.S. government, right? So it's like the powers in Vegas do not want crypto sportsbook to happen. So how that battle all kind of trickles out over the next 5 years is going to be interesting to watch.
I think Vegas will actually integrate it in some capacity. I mean, this is the mission Chris and I were on since 2017, is trying to us, it was always so obvious that there were some parallels between crypto and Vegas. We actually were one of our previous companies, Native Research, the one we were going to do before that was called Digital Hospitality Group. Which was basically creating the crypto layer on top of Vegas. One of the ideas that we had, maybe this is probably 20 years ahead, but if you could spin up a metaverse to where the players can actually bet in real time on like a blackjack hand that's being played or like on the craps table, but they're playing like there's a video camera over what's happening in like the actual casino floor, and those who are in like the metaverse version can actually bet on the real time stuff. Almost like a derivative, right? To me, that seems kind of like where all this is going. But how long into the future is that? Really to be determined. I don't know. Exciting time for Vegas. I mean, I'm excited for Bitcoin Vegas. At the end of the day, that'll be huge. I've been talking with a handful of people from the Bitcoin Vegas team, and they have a lot in store from what I hear. Somebody says, Cody the Campbell says, Vegas is the ultimate Anon system. Imagine if they had a blockchain slot machine hooked up to Pump.Fun.
Right. Like Ready Player One style, basically.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're all going, right? Like I saw Drake was playing slots on his like Jumbotron in his basketball court on his house and live streaming it. Like just the complete financialization of everything. We're really speed running that route. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. It's exciting time. But you know what else is speed running is Adam's precious baby speed running to $100. Bell's coin almost to $1. I got a little bit over $1 over the weekend. This kind of came out of nowhere, although it seems like this was in discussion on this show for like a month. Binance Pool started mining Bell's coin through, I believe, Litecoin mining. Adam, would you like to
Yeah.
explain this? And then why is it that we knew for so long, but then now it's just happening?
Well, it's like, I mean, because it's all public, right? You can see what's actually happening. And it was pretty clear. I mean, Binance hasn't commented on it at all, obviously, but it was pretty clear when Bell's coin went to merge mining, Binance was doing that merge mining. Obviously, why wouldn't they? Like, it's literally, you just flip a switch. Why wouldn't they do it? But they didn't announce it to all of the miners who were in that pool, right? Why would they do that? Because they're mining bells and then they're basically not distributing it, right? Basically, every pool I saw did the exact same thing. Just depends on how long they did it, right? Some of them did it for a few days, some did it for weeks. Binance did it for, seems like, at least, in theory, did it for going on almost 2 months here, a month and a half, right? What does that allow the pool operator to do? It allows them to collect bells. So you're basically earning extra rewards. Obvious. It's an obvious play. And they all did it. And Binance did it to some degree, obviously, for a period maybe longer than the others. And they had to do some math there because at the beginning, I can't remember their percentage of the total hash rate, but it was something like, 30 or 40% of the total hash rate. And anybody can jump on stage and correct me with those numbers. But that number, people who are in that pool began leaving because they recognized that they were not getting the bells reward. So they were leaving to whatever the other ones are, Antpool or via BTC or whoever were getting those users. And so Binance's percentage of the total share was shrinking. But, Binance team, obviously, they're not stupid. They have some metric in there where they were figuring out how much it was going to cost them, based on lost revenue of their 3% fee. But they figured they were earning that an extra bell, or I don't know that math. Who knows what that math is? But these guys aren't stupid. And eventually, that tipping point must have changed, or they reached the point where they're like, okay, let's announce it again. Let's merge mine with bells and distribute bells to people who are participating in the pool. And that happened, I think, Saturday or Sunday. They made that announcement that they're going to begin distributing bells in merge mining. So that happened. And now you see, if you watch their, people have told me, if you watch their percentage of, total, Litecoin, Dogecoin bells mining, their percentage of the total is actually rising as people kind of return into, the Binance pool. So, it's really good for bells. Obviously, we want, Binance to, the Binance pool to be mining Bell's coin, obviously. So good to have them back. And, the community got really excited about it. They didn't do a big announcement or whatever. They just kind of posted it on their website. But still, it's just a real, bonus that, Binance is merge mining. Bell's coin is just for security, and all the rest of it, just it's a feel good for sure.
You look at these stats from the Binance pool, and the Litecoin, Dogecoin, Bell's coin pool is the second most mined. Bitcoin is largely in front. Bitcoin has 280,000 active workers. I guess that's individual people participating in the pool. The Bell's coin one has 8,100, and then third place is Caspa at 7,700. I haven't heard that one in a long, long time. So I know the price shot up to, it went from 80 cents to $1.20 or something. I saw a gigantic spike. And Bell's it's been holding its fair share against this downtrend. This morning we saw Bell's pool was launched. Nice and shiny new toy to look at the pool. Adam, did you know this was going to be popping up?
No idea. Literally just a community member who just was like, let me build this. I think it was last week. Somebody was like, is there one of those mempool explorers where I can see? And I was like, no, somebody should build it. And this dude was like, I'm gonna build it. And here it is, man. 5 days later. It's awesome. Yeah, totally awesome. And it's great to see. Obviously, we're still pushing, just to let kind of transparency for Bell's coin, and kind of behind the curtain is we're definitely still pushing for a centralized exchange, to additional exchanges to list Bells. We're pushing for it. We've been in talks with literally probably every exchange. Oh, they have the ding on there. People are like, well,
Yeah.
that ding is crazy. I haven't heard that yet. So we are working on that. We're probably going to be opening in the next day or two a donations page, which people will be able to donate either bells or whatever USDT to fund that, because literally every exchange requires, some sort of payment, anywhere from $60,000 to, like, dude, we've had quotes for like $600,000. It's like,
Dude,
insane.
it's insane. I think when we talked with Binance for Koval, I think it was like I wanted like 500 grand or something like that.
Yeah.
It's yeah, you gotta literally either be a team who has a lot of capital, or you have a ton of tokens set aside, like you're launching a new coin. This is why a lot of these teams now, when they launch a new token, they set aside like 10 or 15%, because it's so crucial to get it listed on at least one exchange.
Yep.
Yeah. Or you just have to or you have to have a community pool, just donate it all.
Even the small exchanges, which might be 50 or 60K, that's just the fee. Then you need another 60K or more for the liquidity pool, right? So, it's not insignificant. And so we've come to the point where it's like, look, we need to basically reach out to the community to kind of raise these funds. And we're pretty confident. We've had enough people who are like, I'll put in 5K, I'll put in 10K. That we're going to be able to raise funds and move the ball forward, at least with, maybe a smaller listing. We're still hopeful that one of these big exchanges will just be like, actually, we love the narrative. There's so many wallets. It's crazy because of all the miners. There's like 500,000 wallets. And so these people need somewhere to trade. And so, we're hopeful somebody just grabs the ball and lists it, but we're still working to move the ball forward.
I'd say Gate is always like a good place to go to. They generally have a fair deal from what I've seen, and they list a lot of the kind of like up and coming tokens, right? Dog, the Rune, does more trading volume on Gate than like any other meme coin on that exchange, just because it's the only place that it's listed. So they print off some of these newer tokens. Looking at Bell's, what's this website? Bellspool.io. You just see this chart from when it started. It just shows you how crazy this was initially. It opened up at the first Bell sold, at least from when they're tracking this, December 15th at $2.50, and got up to almost $5, $4.76, and then crashed
That's
down.
what happens in a non-liquid environment. There are probably 5 bells for sale at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like completely illiquid markets. Illiquid markets combined with nobody knew the tokenomics at that point. People just aping. It's so funny, man. Crazy.
And then it got down to, looks like the low was like 14 cents, 15 cents.
Yep.
And nice bear market for almost the entire year. Now really taking off and crescendoing, sitting at a $46 million market cap, 93 cents each. You figure once this liquidity opens up, it's really going to start growing here.
Just to note, we have the November 6th. It's kind of moved a little bit now, but November 6th is the 90% reduction epoch. So it's going to be after that, it's going to be really interesting because, right now still the miners are earning, I don't know, 200,000 Bell a day. So there's a lot of pent up demand to sell. So we'll see after that halving, we're really going to get it's going to be interesting. If you get a decent exchange listing combined with that halving event, it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, you think, like, just from the miner's perspective here, right? You're mining all of this stuff. You can't really dump it anywhere, because if you market sell on non-KYC, it's literally going to send it to zero, right? Then you just nuke, all your profits that you just made.
Yeah.
The only thing really you could do is OTC it, right? To like an exchange or a market maker or just some big whale. But they're probably waiting for the price to go much higher anyways, because a lot of these guys are probably Bitcoin miners.
It's interesting. I'm not going to say any names, but I had a guy who reached out and was like, "Hey man, I want to buy some, not millions of dollars, but quite a bit." And so I reached out to, some kind of minor people and like, "Hey, can we do an OTC sale?" And they were like, no, not interested. Like, not interested. So there's this kind of like thing in the community. I mean, obviously zero is guaranteed, but there's a feeling like the halving combined with, a couple of decent exchange listings. They're just, the tokenomics make it, the potential is there for an exciting, growth spurt for sure.
Yeah, send it to $1 bajillion so we can all get rich. For a liquidity measure from our side, right? We have Televault that is still in the works. We're going to be bridging, Bell's coin to ETH, which you also hope, opens up some liquidity access for those individuals who, who basically live on chain, right? That's a lot of these ETH people, right? They don't want to use centralized exchanges. They're not traders, but they will acquire. Right. If you have Bells on ETH, they could just go ahead and buy it. And then the goal would be you have some arbitrage traders come in and they arb the difference between the exchanges and, the Uniswap pool. It'll probably take a few weeks for that to happen when somebody figures it out and they write a bot, an arb bot, and continue to do that. And that actually increases the price as well. Generally on the way, it increases more volatility on the way up and on the way down. From a status perspective, there was a few people hopped in our Discord the other day asking when. For us, from the Emblem side, it's ready to go. It's just from the Graham side. And I saw him and Shannon, our dev, talking yesterday and doing some dev stuff. So it seems pretty close. We'll make sure we have the tutorials and stuff out and that it's been battle tested. And Emblem's going to throw down in the LP pool. And then we have a bunch of other commits as well. I think the community, there's a handful of people in the community that have also expressed they like this as well because there's a lot of ETH users.
Totally, man. I mean, just anytime you can reduce friction to access it, it's just, this is a no-brainer, right? It's interesting, like the difficult, like I tried to reach out, and I did reach out to the Ghosty Cash guys because I thought that was a great option as well. You just want to, obviously that's what centralized exchanges are so good at, just providing this real easy buy-sell experience. So yeah, obviously really excited about the Televault. If it happens in the next week, 10 days, I think it's going to be some great timing.
Great timing. Yeah, we got to get on Grant more, give him some more pressure because after that, right? If we got to make sure that it's successful, and then Pepe Cash is probably the next one after that. You could have Pepe Cash versus Pepe on Ethereum. To me, that seems like a very competitive market. You also have Pepe Coins, which was created in 2016 on ETH, but as we know, Pepe Cash is like the OG one. So
counterparty guys are gonna love it, man. Psyched.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of counterparty, there's an upgrade coming. I don't know. Did you guys cover it while I was gone at all? There seems to be a lot of attention heading towards it.
Yep.
I saw the community creating a campaign to get it listed on Magic Eden. I wouldn't be surprised if that's listed at some point in time. I'd be interested to see how counterparty trading goes between, the human behavior that's been, formed of trading on Ethereum through Emblem Vault for 3 years versus, I guess having to attach your tokens to UTXO and then go trade on Magic Eden and trade natively where there's, mempool snipers and you have block congestion and stuff. Be interesting. I don't know, Adam. What do you think? What do you think happens here?
Who knows, man? And I thought NFTs were dead, so who cares, right? It's like, what are we talking about here? Just more. Are we talking about just Magic Eden? Nobody's really buying NFTs anyway. They're buying like rare Pepes because those are serious collectors, right? Those are people buying $20,000 NFTs. I don't know. It's interesting, and it might help a little bit with rare Pepes. But I think if people want to buy rare Pepes, they're buying rare Pepes right now. They're not waiting for like a Magic Eden listing. Is this going to really move the needle?
I
don't think so. I don't see it.
I would say as well, the rare Pepe community, we've talked about this many times. The rare Pepe community has been trading rare Pepes in all kinds of forms since the beginning. OTC, Scarcity, Emblem Vault, dispensers, Dexit, right? The counterparty decks, Sotheby's, like they've been distributing it in many ways. I think just because rare Pepe specifically is such a large collection, you need to distribute that in many ways and allow people to trade it however you want. For us as well, Emblem Markets will be a 0% marketplace fee. We tried to do it yesterday. So here pretty soon. So you'll be able to list on Emblem Markets and trade 0%, right? Or you could go trade natively and pay a 2.5% marketplace fee. So we all get to be competitive against each other, but I think it's at the end of the day, creates a better user experience and it creates better pricing for the users as well, right? So every day, what do you think about all of this and Counterparty 2.0?
Well, I mean, we're deep into October. It's kind of rough out there, but trying to stay positive. I mean, it's a great time to buy, right? If you like some of those HNFTs, like some amazing deals, and people are accepting WEEF bids all over the place on the Emblem vaults. Kind of painful to see. I mean, it's exciting to see, but painful to see some of the old school stuff sell for basically nothing. But yeah, people are catching those bids. I had the Counterparty 2.0, I had a couple of questions. I think you guys are a lot more plugged in than I am, at least. I guess that goes live at a certain block height on the Counterparty Block Explorer. When's the prediction for that going live?
I don't remember the specific date. I would say it's probably 2 or 3 weeks from now. It was 30 days from the announcement, which was like 2 weeks ago. So I would say it's really, really 2 weeks. My question as well is, who's working on a counterparty marketplace in silence? This always tends to happen. We know Shaban is building a counterparty marketplace, which he doesn't have Bitcoin purchasing enabled. I suspect there's probably a few other marketplaces that are slyly working on the back end for when it goes live. If not, I'd be very surprised, to be honest. I'd be very surprised.
Yep.
Yeah, and the second question, I know it has a bunch of new features and PSBT support is one. What do you see? I've tried to read up on what partially signed transactions would enable, but what do you practically day to day, what do you see that enabling for something like historical NFTs or, counterparty tokens like Pepe Cash? What does that do on a day to day basis?
So with PSBTs, they trade you can trade them like NFTs. So like on Magic Eden, how ordinals are traded, that's how you'd be able to trade counterparty tokens. So it really opens up, improves discoverability, and creates a more efficient market, right? The only way to trade counterparty tokens on chain natively is through dispensers, which has been, quite a horrendous experience over the last few years. A lot of people have gotten completely rugged from that stuff. So all in all, to me, I think it creates on Magic Eden, you'll see more arbitrage traders pop up who have been doing this on Emblem already, but they'll see which market becomes more efficient, whether it's Emblem or whether it's on Magic Eden, whichever price has the lower one, right? And then they'll go list on that one, and then they'll either go vault on Ethereum and list it higher, or they'll do it the other way. And overall, this creates more liquidity, which I think then creates more value for the underlying asset. So getting these things listed everywhere is really important.
So that when you say like trading natively, would people be buying HNFTs for Bitcoin, or would they be paying with XCP?
I couldn't see Magic Eden listing it without Bitcoin. There's no way. It'd have to be with
XCP is not going to happen. That's for sure.
No, it'd have to be with Bitcoin. There's no way. You have to reduce the friction. We've learned this at Emblem. This is why we removed the COVOL fee to mint vaults. Is you cut out probably half the users who just do not want to go through the extra few steps to go buy this token. It has to be the underlying currency of the blockchain.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm excited for it. It'd be interesting. I mean, Adam said NFTs are dead, so nothing will happen. But I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think at the core, it's what we've seen certainly with the higher value Pepes is people will find the free or near free marketplace, right? So I wouldn't expect your Nakamoto cards to sell on Magic Eden anytime soon. Those will probably happen on Emblem Marketplace because it's going to cost people nothing. It's free to do. So we'll see. People will figure out ways. Anytime, obviously, we're supporting anything that helps grow the ecosystem. I'm wondering. I get, Magic Eden does have the traction right now. So it will bring awareness. That would be a good thing. Whether or not they're interested in doing it, though, that is a different story because Magic Eden doesn't necessarily move that quickly with that sort of stuff. We'll see.
Yeah.
I was going to say something I thought was really cool. I guess I missed where the feature went live, but I was really impressed on Emblem Markets. You could go make a trait bid, so you could place a kind of floor bid on, collections of 100 or less as a trait. I thought that was really cool. I just didn't realize you could do that before. But do you see a lot of people doing that?
Yeah, it's been an interesting experience over the last quarter. We launched Emblem Markets in July. So July, June, July, August, September. We really had the last 3 months to compare, what features is the marketplace missing? What native features do we need? Because it is a cross-chain experience. And then, how do we optimize for this? And so now we really have the hang of it. We've pushed like a really major update over the last week or so. And we believe it's helped with discoverability. And since we've launched Emblem Markets, the Pepe sales and counterparty sales in general have picked up quite drastically, like many multiples higher. And I think it's just having it in that nice, neat place where users can see what is really going on, and you can compare prices across these marketplaces. I think it's really, really helped. So users are using these variety of things. I think the main thing that I notice what counterparty users are doing, specifically Pepe and Spells of Genesis and Fake Rares, and now Saratobi does this as well. Users will hold their counterparty assets in their native wallet. So they'll have it in free wallet, or I guess this new wallet, the Horizon wallet, which was created by Adam. And they'll just hold it there, and they'll just check the marketplace and look for best offers. So on OpenSea, you can do this where you can sort by a recent offer. We don't have this on Emblem Markets yet. Or you could open up or you just have a notification set on OpenSea or on OpenSea Pro. That's like their aggregator. And they just wait for bids. And then once you see a bid posted or resting, then you'll see like 1 or 2 people try to vault these things immediately and accept the bid. And sometimes it's like a race. You'll see 2 of them vaulted at one time for somebody to race it, or you get whoever has it already vaulted. And so there's literally, it's like fishing almost, right? Somebody puts like the bait out on it, and you just wait for somebody to come vault and accept it. And right now, it's a lot of people prefer that. It is definitely, more secure to hold your assets natively, but the liquidity is always wherever the smart contract platforms are.
Well, I don't know whether you guys realize, but you've replaced, there used to be a feature on Rare Pepe wallet or Rare Pepe. It was one of the original wallets. It was called the Big Board. And the Big Board was basically all the current, buy, sell offers. And it dropped off. I don't know what changed. I guess through some of the updates, it just lost support. But that's what I use Emblem Markets for now, is that replacement of just seeing what the buy, sell volume is and action is.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, and if you go to Rare Pepe and you go to the activity, you can actually sort by purchases and mints. So I know some people use that. That's what I use actually to see what's being sold and what's coming through. And that's where I actually see a lot of these mint and sales and then bid offer acceptances.
Jake, tell us about this guy dumping his entire portfolio. What were you talking about? I saw that tweet earlier today.
Yeah, so I have it up here. So TG, I think it's TG12. I don't know if you remember him. I remember he was one of the like big Rare Pepe collectors when I was still using Emblem Vault, right? Or like before I even joined the team. He'd spent hundreds of ETH on these Rare Pepe assets. And you see this happen every often. I don't know if he's rage quitting or he's doing it for taxes or
it happens, man, right? It's like, who knows?
Or whatever it is. But I have it here pulled up on the live stream. You could see if you sort by best offer, once these people start accepting, 5 or 10 bids in a row, then you'll see all the sharks come out and they start throwing bids out for him to accept it. So you have a 70th offer on the Rare Pepe Pope, which I think is like a 1 of 10 or something. 1 in 25. And you see some of these down here right? Like the Trump Rare and all these have 1 ETH, and then you have all the resting bids, and there's still, I think, like 200 in this wallet. And it just seems like he's, trying to get rid of these for whatever reason. At least there's a handful. I mean, if you go to, I'll pull up here his activity page, and you sort it just by rare Pepes, you'll see it's like there had to be like 50 sales last night. I woke up and I was like, wow, somebody's dumping all this stuff. Rare Pepe. But it happens. Here, look. Let's see. So you can see all these sales, right? So UFO Pepe for 0.6. He sold a Pepe mining for 0.07 ETH. I bought mine for 7 ETH in 2020. 99 down 99% on that sale now because of that.
Why am I laughing?
Oh man, the pain, right? That just shows how crazy 2021 was.
Yeah.
Pepe Kachu for 1.2 ETH. You get some of these that are like really, really, really low, but like it goes on. Like this is, I've been scrolling now for like a minute, and it's still just 4 hours ago.
So, well, what you see is that people are like, oh, he's selling. Let me just put in offers, right? So there are buyers.
Yeah.
It's just they're picking it up at, they're like, dude, this is like, he's making a generational mistake here. I can buy these now and hold them for a few years. See what, or just hold them to the bull market. Maybe then just in 2025, these turn out to be, epic trades.
Yeah, look at this wallet. There was no activity 1 year ago. Last activity was October 10th, 2023. And then 1 day ago is him selling all these. And the activity was us actually airdropping all of these new ones to this wallet. So you could see, look at how many that actually got airdropped. This has to be like over 200 or 300 rare Pepes in this wallet. TG12, I forget what his actual name was. So RIP to you, sir, or I hope whatever you need the funds for is worthwhile at the end of the day.
Yeah, sure. That's rough.
Yeah. Yep. Counterparties is moving. I saw Litecoin Ordinals has runes now, actually. So we got loons over there. I don't know if anyone's using that at all, but there's like an active marketplace for that if that ever comes back. Did you say Litecoin Ordinals team was looking into OpCat as well?
Oh God, are they really? No. Well, I mean,
at the conference that you went to.
Yeah, no, that was more just like exploring drive chains. They're slow moving over there though, right? So this is like, long discussions for that sort of stuff. My vibe with Litecoin is everything's done really, really kind of purposeful and safe and long-term. So yeah, those were discussed, but I don't think anything soon happening over there. No way.
Yeah. Pain everywhere. So moving on to Bitcoin Ordinals. Bitcoin Ordinals has been picking up a little bit. I think because Bitcoin Ordinals and Runes, Magic Eden, again, they're really just coming for the throat for everybody. They're cruising.
They had 200 people over there at Magic Eden.
They have like over 200 employees now, I think.
Wow.
Like they're...
Bro, what's their burn got to be, man? Jesus Christ, man. Chris, how long do you how much money do you have to raise to keep that burn going, bro? You got a bunch of devs at 150 grand a year.
I think they raised like over 200 million initially.
200 or 300 million. I think like 1.5 or 2 billion. So they're hanging. They've spent a lot. There's no doubt. But
dude, yeah, 200 people. If 150 of those are devs, bro, that's not cheap, bro. That is, you'll burn through $200 million in a year or two. Like you can burn.
A company of that size is just really difficult to manage, to do anything with. I mean, they're doing a fantastic job. They're covering a lot of bases, but man, I'd just much rather run a really, really lean team. That's what they did for many years. But I mean, 200 for where we're at in the market seems pretty heavy to me personally.
So one of their co-founders came out, I think this is last night. They rolled out bidding on runes, which I want to cover here in a second. They're going to be launching Rune Swap. They're putting RBF prevention in. So this prevents sniping. So RIP to all the sniping bots out there who are not using Magic Eden. This actually just adds more of a centralization, to be honest, which I'll say here in a second. and then clear path that they say to growing the market. So TAM is the total asset something. It's they think they can expand the ordinals market and grow the on-chain ecosystem. So over here for runes, I went over and opened this yesterday. It's actually pretty cool. There's a bidding system now, so you can bid on runes, and you can bid on packets, right? And you put it on the different sats of these different quantities. And so they trade like NFTs, but they're not specifically unique one of ones, right? So it's like you're bidding on fungible tokens almost.
Yep.
So the cool part here, a lot of people hate it, but I think it's important for Bitcoin ecosystem to have their own token ecosystem, and it's not just a copy pasta. And it actually rewards those who stick around and learn it the best, because it's not like the traders from ETH and Solana can just come in and figure this out immediately. I'm sure the really good ones can, but for most people, they're going to be at a clear disadvantage. And so when these prices start running up and people start getting FOMO, those are the ones that are going to be the exit liquidity, and the ones who stuck around and really learned this is going to be the ones who are a benefit.
Yep, I'll find it. I think Jen had a really good. I watched her do a video like how to, where it's basically you're depositing some Bitcoin in it, and then you can place the bids. I'll pin it up top for everybody to be able to take a look at.
Runes, I think, are here to stay. I think it's gonna be really hard. Excuse me, even for Udi's Catnip, which is their cat VM thing, to compete. I'm gonna be really honest. As we know, with decentralized communities, once you get that runaway effect, it's really hard to chase that. Chris, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I feel the same. I think runes are good enough. The market doesn't need perfect. I think it needs good enough. And with a few innovations here, you see Magic Eden working on it. If the experience is improved marginally, I think that it replicates a token trading experience similar to other chains, and I think that that's good enough. You get some experience, hopefully a little bit more development from someone like Binance or something like that, and it's they're solidified in their role. It's pretty funny how we've done a great service to the industry by moving a ton of people on chain through things like Solana, through things like Bitcoin, where we are today. But now the centralized exchanges, which are historically the easiest piece to move forward, are the last moving piece. It's like we've inverted the entire industry. It's kind of strange, but that's where we're at.
Yeah, that is an interesting perspective.
Yeah, totally. I think with Udi too, it's he's got a real challenge. To your point, Jake, will people switch to a new token standard once this goes live? When, from what I've read, and I've read a bunch of threads on it now, including Udi's, it doesn't provide it's not like moving to Solana. Like, it's better maybe in some aspects, but it's not better in others. It's not like a home run grand slam. This is way, way better, right? So for him to get traction he's gonna have a real challenge, especially if Runes has a nice run up here. I think they also have a significant challenge, having the Fractal guys on. They have a significant challenge if they're not building either in stealth mode on Fractal or Bellscoin or one of these other chains to make product that people are going to actually use. When Opcat goes live on Bitcoin, dude, it feels like they're going to be behind everybody. How are they going to compete with these existing companies that have already, built stuff, built swap tools, built dexes and marketplaces, whatever? How are they going to come in? I mean, yes, they have a big microphone, but it seems like these other guys are just going to be so much better positioned to take advantage of it, man. I feel like he's at a significant disadvantage by not building on these other chains.
Yeah, it is actually a good point here. Excuse me, where we just had the Fractal team on yesterday. Vivian, really eloquent speaker, really good representative. You could tell they're really trying to.
She was really good.
I had feedback for a second. You can tell they're really trying to break into the West Coast and like the Western world, right? By having an English native speaker who's really well at communicating. And then we also had the OPCAT guys on Monday with the script, and they basically, right, the script team, they basically front ran everything that Fractal was doing. And this is what the Fractal team yesterday said, is that, you know, they hadn't planned for Cat 20. They didn't know it was coming. They were not notified about it. And they basically had to pause everything that they were doing for like a week to, you know, add the Explorer and add all these other things. And they're still trying to figure it out. And it sounded like the Fractal team actually just came to a decision where they're like, look, we can't build this vertical stack out. We still got to deal with BRC20, and we still got to deal with Fractal and everything. So you guys on the application layer are going to have to compete for this Cat 20 kind of idea. But then it makes you think, okay, when Cat 20 actually rolls around, if it does on Bitcoin, does that community then just migrate over to, right, to Cat VM, and then they just front run Catnip because they already have a community there?
Totally, man. Like 1,000%. Right? Like, who's going to push the button first, and who's going to? That's why I said, Udi, really, I think they might be at a significant, even though they have great devs and smart and all this money, bro, small teams that are already doing it just feel like they're going to have a significant, I mean, it's possible Udi's building, you know, silent, and we don't know what they're doing. I think that's totally possible, but feels like the first movers, even the ordinal wallet guys and stuff, you know, who are learning how to do this, launching it, failing, succeeding. When it comes to Bitcoin, they're just going to be like, they're ready, man. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch.
What's up, John?
But will that same Cat 20 necessarily work, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like there's so many things that I don't understand in games that can be played, but I love all the cats.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think from Moody and their perspective then with Cat VM, right? Maybe you just abandon the fungible token idea and you just go into NFTs, or you just focus on the infrastructure, like the bridging, and I think there's like vaults on it and you know, some other components to it. I know Jen was a ambassador for Quantum Cats. What are, like, do you know any other kind of main features there? I saw you giving the hundreds up outside of fungible tokens.
I want to be clear, I was not an ambassador.
Weren't you like a Quantum Cat lady?
Challenge. We all did the OpCat challenge. Did I win? Yes. But I still can't tell you what fucking OpCat. Sorry, I probably shouldn't curse on this. I can't tell you what OpCat will actually do. I feel like, okay, what it'll actually do on layer 1 on Bitcoin, right? I feel like that answer is kind of ambiguous. And, you know, I feel like there's so many people that are building other tangents to Bitcoin, whether they're calling it a layer 2 or whatever they're calling it, right? Like, I don't necessarily see, you know, what is going to win, because at the end of the day, like, right, like, look at Cat 20 just happened on Fractal and no one was planning on it. I think there's some stuff you can't plan. I will say, however, I do think everyone should make like coloring book white papers. It is my favorite thing. I think it's brilliant on so many levels. Like, imagine the government trying to regulate that. They can't. It's perfect. I think it's genius. And I also love sending it to people that are like trying to understand this space.
Yeah, they're good marketers. There's no doubt about that. Udi's top shelf.
They've also hired like all the dev talent too, which is kind of funny.
Well, I put it this way: they've hired all the dev talent that are like what I would call like the big brain devs, like Bitcoin core type devs. But there's a very big difference between that type of dev and an entrepreneur dev. Like an entrepreneur dev who sees something in the market and can move quickly and take advantage of that. That's different. Yeah, they obviously have had success with basically an NFT product, but there's a huge difference between that and, I don't know, like the ordinal wallet guys, or, you know, just somebody who can move into a market and take advantage. I think there's a difference there.
So dare we say, you know, taking a step back and looking at the fungible token wars, BRC20 is kind of, and it's kind of all over the place. The Fractal team even clarified yesterday that FBRC20 and BRC20 is the same BRC20.
was tough.
because they're sharing the same indexer, which was something I talked about like a month ago. And most people didn't think that was the case, but they clarified that is the case, which is also kind of interesting, right? Because that makes BRC20 a cross-chain fungible token protocol. Because if you're just an indexer that holds the balances, really all you got to do, you can put a JSON on Litecoin or Dogecoin or Ethereum or wherever you want, and you take BRC20 cross-chain out of the box, which is kind of interesting. I also saw Best in Slot the other day posting about BRC20 2.0. So it makes me wonder if there's, it makes me wonder if, is it going you think there's gonna be 2 competing BRC20s?
Oh my God, bro.
Right? Wouldn't that be funny?
The programmable BRC20s. Holy shit. What happened to programmable runes? When are those coming?
I think the oil team is still building that proto runes. But to me, it's just like a wrapper, right? It's just you take your runes and you deposit into this ecosystem. Which
when are people gonna realize that if we have a zillion versions of the same thing, we're never gonna get rich?
Brutal.
I think that what was cool too is the character diminishing of runes. And so every quarter you get new opportunities for new names to drop. And I think that really puts a timeline on a lot of these other token standards because, in a year's time, you're going to be at prime time ticker length. So these can really start launching right when some of these new protocols might be coming to market. So pretty interesting there.
Takes the attention away from the new ones. What do you think's the optimal
time?
What do you think's the optimal ticker character length?
Feels like 8 to 9. I mean, shorter the better, but I think you can get some good ones under 10.
I was so sad. I thought the one of the winning ones was going to be Feels Good Man with the spaces in between, and so, of course somebody put a gigantic pre-mine on it. No one minted it. I was like, damn. I was like waiting for that to happen, and so we'll have to wait until that's what Feels Good Man. If it's all one, I don't know. Yeah, it's like a few away.
Wait, I have an idea. I'm messaging.
Okay. I think they're
just how you said,
sign an NDA.
Yeah.
I don't want to. No, I don't want to get front run. I'm also not going to.
You think the runes Pepe, when it gets down to 4 tickers, will probably be pretty good
for sure.
Or
I think we're going to get 4 tickers, and everyone's going to start coming up with like full sentence names again.
Yeah, it'll go in reverse. That's funny. I'm sure it'll happen.
Right, that's like on you see that on Solana where it's like the 4-character ticker, like the actual ticker name, but then the actual name that they put above it is like, right, it's like 50 characters.
Yeah, well, what I've realized from Solana is that none of it fucking matters. It's all about the team and the marketing behind it, right? It's like you could have the best in the world, but if you've made the mistake of mining too much or whatever, it's dead in the water. It's so difficult, man. It literally doesn't even. It's so difficult to pull this shit off, man. When it's infinite supply of these, unlimited, it's like, dude, it's so difficult.
It is. One innovation I saw that popped up that no one talked about, maybe because everyone's just, I don't know, down bad or whatever. Our homies over at Fluid Tokens, I participated in this actually, created non-custodial staking of your ordinals. You could stake a runestone or a billy cat, and you stake it for 30 days, and then you can earn dog, right, or a $1 billion cat, the token, and it's some sort of non-custodial way. So I staked my runestones to see what would happen. Maybe I'll lose all of them.
Open, or is this we're hearing about this 30 days after
it's closed? It closed yesterday. Yeah, I posted about it,
dude. Come on,
I posted about it. I did post about it. So I staked my 5 runestones. I just wanted all the dog for myself. That's really what it was.
Convenient, Jake. Convenient that you wait till it closes to tell us.
Right. Also,
KOL insider shit happening.
Also, our friend Nishek, who's a friend of the show, I thought his idea was pretty cool. So if you see over here to the right of the graphic that I'm showing, it says rare pups cache. Remember, he created a bunch of like different images. Like it was like 1-of-1 images of pup cache as a rune, and then you could stake it, and then you get like the actual rune that's called Rare Pups Pupforia as the token. So I thought that was a cool way of rewarding your early holders of something unique, right? He did, again, he minted I think 70 runes or something that are all 1-of-1s, which is a play on Pepe Cash.
I remember that. Yeah.
And then I guess he partnered with them in some capacity. And if you staked your Rare Pup cash, then you get this Rare Pup4 Rune token, which is going to be the token for, I guess, whatever he's building.
What were the steps to actually like do this? Did you have to bridge it, or what did you have to do for it?
I literally just opened up, clicked stake, literally selected, you select which vault that you want, and then you select the amount of that you have and just click stake. That was literally all of it. And, you know, these guys had been building on Cardano for a long time, so they're familiar with UTXO. And they claim it's non-custodial. I haven't seen anyone come out against that claim so far, which in my case, you know, in my thought, that's a huge innovation because that's what people want is non-custodial DeFi.
So right in your X first wallet, you just stake. How much did it, and it were some Bitcoin cost?
Yeah, there was a minor fee.
Okay. Cool.
So, you know, I don't know. I need somebody like Bob Audley to look at this and be like, yo, is this legit or not? Like, why has no one done this? But I mean, they've been building on UTXO chains for a while. So, you know, props to them.
Cool.
Where do you think, I guess, you know, maybe with this final conversation here for this is, you know, what's next? Where does, you know, the Bitcoin ecosystem go from here? Do we run it back with ordinals? Is Runes the next leg up that gets the market revived again? Or is there something new that comes out of nowhere? Chris, what do you think?
I think that we're a token creation industry, and I think that tokens on Bitcoin are definitely going to be a thing. And I think that that's like the opportunity of the cycle. I think another opportunity of the cycle was Bells. We talk a lot about how just the pendulum swung too far to kind of proof of stake. And there's this huge lane in proof of work that's just sitting there for the taking. And so I think Doge, I think Bells, I think Bitcoin are really just underinvested. And I think going into the cycle, I think, you know, infrastructure is being built out. And if you really just kind of zoom out and see where the opportunities for exchanges and third parties to make money is, it's in building up a new ecosystem. The ecosystem on Solana is mature. The ecosystem on Ethereum is mature, but the ecosystem on Bitcoin is immature. And I think that that's where the opportunity is.
Yes, sir. Adam, I know you're bullish. What's the take heading into October? Do you think everyone's waiting around to see what happens with this election, or do the degen start front running it and we start going up pretty soon?
Certainly for the election's a big deal for just price go up. But to Chris's point, I'm actually, this is I think the most exciting thing on Bitcoin is the opportunity for a team to build something innovative and new is the real opportunity. And what that's going to be, you know, I don't believe it's going to be a marketplace. I don't believe it's going to be a pumped up fund. It's going to be something new. And, you know, but the infrastructure's there now, at least in theory, where, you know, some team can come in and build something innovative. So there's no reason it can't happen on Bitcoin now. It's just, are people creative enough to bring these ideas to fruition?
Somebody's phone ringing. I hear vibration. I think we just need magic internet money to finally do this airdrop, dude. Bro. Chris, what's going on over there? Is Maven's bot ever going to do this migration?
You know, I think that that's like one of the biggest plays of the cycle. Obviously, I'm pretty biased, but I mean, you have a meme that won't die. You have exactly what you would want out of a dev or somewhat founder type. It's literally his token. He launched it. And it's a meme coin community, which you want the founding team to do nothing. And in doing nothing, he's actually done something extremely important, which is wait and see. And so he was able to see if the Runes ecosystem is the ecosystem to develop. If BRC was going to develop in the meantime, it would have shown more progress. And so he's really kind of defeated a lot of maybe kind of the risks. And in waiting, he's kind of really pushed forward a better environment. He's already secured the magic internet money Rune, which was a risk early on. The community is really, really well established. It uses a ton of AI to produce these images, which I haven't seen anyone else kind of.
Dude, they're insane.
Build.
The images they
and
do.
So they're able to put out content like no other. And so I think that's probably one of the best asymmetric opportunities in the market today.
Go all in on the magic internet money. I know Ansom's a big magic internet money guy as well. So when that finally does airdrop,
another thing to note too is that it's a Bitcoin native meme. It's a Bitcoin native historical kind of part of the lore that you cannot replace or reinvent. So I think has a lot of Bitcoin-esque qualities, which
Does
are.
he wait for Cat 20 and launch it as like the first Cat 20, bro? Is that the
I
way?
kind of get the vibe that I don't think that they're enemies, but I think that there's a little bit of friction between Mavins and the Taproot Wizards. I think that they're friendly, but I don't think that he would be waiting for Cat 20. I don't think that that's the route.
Interesting. Go all in on MIM. So do you think he ends up choosing runes as?
I think he goes runes. He already has the runes ticker. It has the most development. Honestly, I don't know how speculative it is, but I think there's probably something there with Binance, with CZ. And I mean, in terms of a token launch, you can't really anticipate a better token launch than the Magic Internet Money token on Bitcoin. It just has the Bitcoin ethos. It has the culture, and it kind of grabs a piece of the market that no one else is able to kind of take from someone like Mavins. To be like a 2013 OG, we've been in crypto forever.
Mhm.
Those 3 years difference between us and Mavins it's a lot.
It's a lifetime, dude.
And like no one.
What's the market cap of it right now as the BRC?
Like 50 or 60 million.
It's low.
So,
it's pretty low.
I mean, if it was to be a top rune, has to be dog at 400, 500 billion or 500 million. And I think that's obviously I think dog will probably go higher, but I think when you're talking about targets, those are, that's what 5, 6, 7, 8x. So
yeah, I put this out in the very beginning during the migrations that I thought there would be $3 or $4 billion tokens. And Magic Internet Money was one of them, being in the top 2. Yeah, dog is going to be a little tough just because of the community that's formed, but when you get these OGs on, right, with Magic Internet Money, it's easily a top 3 kind of token.
We spoke about it a lot when runes were coming, of just like the targets that you can put on some of these things, and how big Bitcoin is, and how big you think Bitcoin is going to be. The liquid token market on Bitcoin can be ginormous, and we're a token producing industry. That's literally what we do in this industry. I don't see a world where tokens don't exist on Bitcoin. And I think another underrated opportunity within the Bitcoin ecosystem is how concentrated the bets can be. Again, you look at something like Solana, which has infinite token creation, literal infinite. Where do you place your bets? It's very difficult to place where they're going to be. You look at something like Bitcoin today, you have like 3 choices, 4 choices: Bitcoin, Billy, you have Wizard, you have Pups, maybe some, I don't know, a lot of people like RSIC. I don't really like RSIC, but something like that. So it's kind of easy.
It's almost like the winners have already been chosen. It's
easy to pick the winners.
Market expanding to those winners. Yep. It's interesting.
How funny of a meme would it be if Mavins was actually just waiting for CZ to get out of jail the whole time? And they had something.
The counter would be that maybe Mavins is, which I don't think he is because he has an NFT project and things like that, is that he would be such a Bitcoin maxi that he actually hates shitcoiners, and it could be like a honey trap just to like make them poor forever or something like that. That would be like extremely malicious, but I guess that would be the counter.
Oh, that would be great. Bullish on MIM. I guess the only other meme that predates it is the Bitcoin. What is it? The armadillo, or what is the one that's Skrilla? The honey badger. The honey badger. There is an NFT project for that, but I don't think they ever made a token for that, right?
Yeah, people have forgot all about the honey badger, man. It's like it's definitely only the OGs keep up the honey badger. Skrilla's about it. Skrilla is like the leader of the honey badger. Yeah, it's funny. It's one of those old ones.
I think that's the only, right? I think that was the first Bitcoin meme. I think was the honey badger. Like that's probably the only one that predates Magic Internet Money. Unless you get Satoshi to come back, but then we got much larger problems than that. Well, it was a good show today. I'm actually excited. Tomorrow, we're going to be bringing on one of the co-founders from Unicross. I'll put up here on the slide something that they're doing to give a little bit of a teaser, because I was really interested in them. I was actually dabbling around on Merlin Chain the other day, and they have this for Bitmap, and I was actually very surprised at like how large this thing is. Like, dude, some of the things going on Merlin Chain, if you're not paying attention with Bitmap, it's crazy. Like, it's a whole nother world over there. So they created something, it's called the Phantom swaps, where you can basically, so you have to deposit your NFT into Merlin Seal. That's like their staking thing. And if Unicross supports this, you can then issue runes against your NFT. And so they did this for Bitmap because they have like 25% of all bitmaps on this chain. And so you could basically turn them into a fungible token. It's almost like a 404 protocol for Bitcoin assets. And they have a liquidity pool on Merlin chain. And the Bitmap liquidity pool was at like $2 million. And the price disparity was like almost 30% higher on Merlin chain, maybe because there's more volatility on Merlin. And so then I saw that they did this again with something called This Song About NFTs, which is a BRC 420. And it seems like this is like forming to be a winning product over there. It's basically a way for people to kind of dump their NFTs, I guess, right? Or to speculate on them even more. But yeah, I converted some of my Bitmap over to it just to kind of play around with it. I thought it was really cool. So I invited them on because I really wanted to learn more about what was going on over there.
Cool.
So that's our conversation for tomorrow with the Unicross team. And next week we have a few big shows as well with the NFTFi guys and I forgot who the other team is. There's too many people coming on, but it'll be exciting. I appreciate everyone who joined us. Jen, welcome back from your travels. I know you're at Singapore 2049, and everyone else was out there traveling around. Appreciate everyone that was here. As you know, Adam, myself, and Chris work at Emblem Vault, leading cross-chain NFT protocol. We host a show Tuesday through Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you like the show, please follow the Emblem account so you could stay in tune with what we're doing. A little bit of alpha. We actually got our first vault on Solana like the other day. So still in the testing stage, but taking your ordinals to Solana, that was something that had been a highly requested thing. We're currently undergoing a audit right now from Hellborn. So we're going to make sure everything's secure and ready to go. And then we're going to start rolling this stuff out during our expansion projects. A lot of stuff to come in Q4, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have fun. Be safe out there. Happy hump day.